What up, high and wide fam? Delco Dave. I'm here with Jim Icavone and our very special guest today, Megan, the Carolina Hurricanes in-game host. Megan, welcome to HW at Night. How you doing today?
I'm really great. Apologies, but I'm really great. Thank you guys so much for having me. We were chatting a little bit before, and what a game we just witnessed. So I'm really excited to dive in.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Jim was down there live at the game. Jim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I guess everything considered. We watched maybe one of the better Flyers games of the season. I know Carolina was coming off, back-to-back with Pittsburgh last night, so we expected to see a tired team. Flyers outshot Carolina by 10 most of the game, and then it kind of finished exactly how you thought it was going to finish, right?
Well, I thought it was going to go to a shootout. We were going to go 0 for 7 on the shootout, or whatever we are for the year.
I was just having anxiety because the last time that the Canes were in overtime was against the Florida Panthers just the other night when we were at home, and they got a goal in the first 30 seconds of overtime. And I was just like, oh my gosh, please, don't do that to us again. Don't do that to us. But yeah, it was we just kept getting goals and you guys just kept catching up. We wouldn't let us run away.
That's kind of par for the course. This Flyers team has been pretty good at counterpunching. We never seem to get a lead, but we're pretty good at when somebody scores, we'll come right back and tie it back up. So that's probably been our strength all year, if we could say we have one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so good.
What's funny? I feel like since we started this show, Dave, the Flyers have just lost in overtime every time. For real though, right? Like every game, it's an overtime loss.
Well, we launched the show coming out of the All-Star break, and they're now 0 for 5 out of the All-Star break. So.
I'm not. Are you guys superstitious? You can't blame yourselves. You cannot. Hey, listen, when I first started as the in-game host for the Hurricanes, I didn't start right off the bat when the season started. I came in end of November, and they lost every game. And my friends were texting me. They're like, Megan, it's you. And I'm like, please don't put this on me. Please do not put this on me. Yeah. So I get it. But it will turn around. I have faith. It will turn around.
Yeah, probably not this season. These two teams are heading in absolute opposite directions right now, considering the Hurricanes first place in the Metro right now, headed towards clinching the division, a great playoff spot. So what's the feeling around the Carolina Hurricanes fan base right now, Megan?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So here's a little bit of background on me and my story. So I'm wearing my Heart for Whalers my crew neck because I'm originally from New England, and I never thought I would have love for any other teams other than Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots. I'm all New England all the time. But when I moved here to Raleigh, I was taken to a Canes game last year during playoffs, and I just fell in love with the arena and the fans because I thought, whoa, there's fans that care and are passionate just as much as us New England people. I was taken out of my comfort zone and brought in somewhere else, and I was so welcomed, and I just fell in love with the atmosphere. So then when I saw the posting that they were looking for an in-game host, which I had done in-arena hosting prior, but not for the NHL, I was a little nervous. As I told you, this is my first year working for the NHL, and I'm learning as I go. But it's the house is always packed. They're so passionate. It's amazing. And I'm really happy to be a part of the franchise.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great to hear about a franchise that has, a passionate fan base, fans in the stadiums every game. Cause I feel we discussed it a few times. The direction of the Flyers has just been on a downward trajectory for years, it seems like now. And now it's struggling. I think they said only 8. What was the in-arena attendance, Jim? I think 8 to 10,000 they said?
Yeah.
Wait, today?
Yeah.
Well, for a Monday afternoon, I was looking, I was watching the game. I thought it was pretty packed for a Monday afternoon.
Well, I was packed for a Flyers game for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was talking to the guys in here and I said, a couple of years ago, this would have been empty for how good the team was and whatnot. And now, this was packed for the Flyers this season. We've seen, I don't know, maybe some games less than, it looks like you're watching the Arizona Coyotes some nights, or yeah, it's pretty sparse. Well, Megan, something I wanted to ask you. So you said you're from New England?
Yeah. Yes.
So I assume maybe you grew up a Bruins fan?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And, so I just want to ask you, I always think Boston and Philly fans are kind of similar, right? Same kind of passion and whatnot. What's it like being around the Carolina Hurricanes environment? Because those fans have become pretty passionate of late and whatnot, and it looks like their games are a lot of fun. Can you compare the environments in Carolina to what it's like going to a game in Boston?
Okay, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like in Boston, you're just going to get kind of grunge. You're
Yeah.
going to get, swearing. You're going to get beers flying. You're going to get, just people swearing left and right. At the Canes, let's just say my language has gotten a lot better since moving to the South. I don't drop as many F-bombs, if you will. But I would say that the passion and energy is there. But if we're losing, it doesn't get rowdy.
Right.
People just get angry and they may leave early, but they don't vocalize it as they would in Boston. So that's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah. All right. So they have fun.
They have fun. They have fun. They're great. And I just love how connected they are to the fans. And I do love how the Hurricanes really take time out during, the interview at the end of the games. Abby or Trip Tracy's doing the interview. They always are just thankful to the fans. That's always what their interview is about, really, because half the time there's a standing ovation for whoever that final goal came from or whatnot. So it really is a great atmosphere.
You could definitely notice. I really like what the organization is doing because it looks like they're making it a lot of fun for fans down there who maybe didn't grow up watching hockey. You know what I mean? But they're making new fans at least now. Like I don't know the way they're marketing the team and whatnot. Just as an organization as a whole, like the rest of the league, I think is taking notice there.
I think what we do, and I haven't taken a look at the Flyers social media, but the Hurricane social media, man,
Always
they
on.
kill it. And even during little bits and segments of our game when they're on a timeout or whatever, the Canes will have these fun little videos that they do, and they're nothing to do with hockey. It's just kind of a Q&A or just kind of they have these little emojis like thumbs up or thumbs down on what you think of, whatever it is. But the fans love it because they are like, oh wow, okay, I'm watching these players. They're my favorite. I'm a fan, but also they're human too. Yeah. And I think the Hurricanes are doing a really good job at marrying that, making it seem like we're all one and the same.
That's what it comes off as. It looks like what we used to have here, right, Dave?
Absolutely.
It was just all one thing and not, a corporation and fans,
Well, I think the storm surge that the Canes started doing is one of the best things I've ever seen. As far as like post-game stuff and celebrations go and getting the fans into something, the only thing I think that like rivals that is actually what the Golden Knights do pregame, where they do like a show prior to the game on the ice. Like I think the Hurricanes and the Knights probably have two of the best traditions going right now as far as like post-game or pregame goes. Like the storm surge, I mean, you're down there all the time. That has to be one of the highlights of the game.
Oh, and to be honest with you, and I'm ashamed to say this, like I said, when I got the job, I didn't really know what it was. And then all of a sudden, everything goes silent. And you just hear and I was like, what is everybody doing? What is this? And then, shortly, I will say, because it didn't happen probably the first 5 games that I was hired. And so when it did happen, I was like, this is new. What is this? But yeah, it is really, really cool. And especially to hear that echo of the entire arena doing it at the same time as our players is really awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wait, so what you guys were saying, so you feel like you used to have that fan, like that interaction with the Flyers and the fans, and you're feeling like it's not the same, Jim?
Yeah, pretty much. It feels it's weird. Like I said, I compare the Philadelphia Flyers and their fans a lot to Boston and the Boston Bruins, and I think you guys still have that. Like everything's built around the hockey team. There's nothing manufactured about being a Boston Bruins fan, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whereas, for whatever reason, the Flyers felt like they had to do things outside of the hockey team. For example, the mascot. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but there's things that I feel are pushing certain fans away, or maybe
Mm.
they're looking for a new kind of fan type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
Philadelphia is a market that needs to do that. So it's kind of mind-boggling a little bit.
I totally see what you're saying with Philly fans, even the city in general, being
Yeah.
so similar to Boston. People having so much pride in the history. I mean, OG cities here in the United States. So it's, I feel that and I get that. And hopefully,
Right.
but hopefully sometime, and I'm going to go to the Patriots here for a second. I sometimes feel like, do you guys feel like you're kind of in a rebuilding? Because for us, for the Pats, we're 100% rebuilding. Fans are coming and going. There's no Brady anymore. Do we like Mac Jones? We like Mac Jones. We're just kind of like, oh, sorry that I'm bringing football in, but it's my
No, you're
greatest
good.
it's my greatest comparison. But I feel like we're restructuring in that aspect. You kind of feel the same with the Flyers?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but the Patriots are still the Patriots, though, right? Like they're not. I don't know how to explain it. Like they're not trying to rebrand themselves or appeal to different fans. They're just rebuilding the team.
Yeah.
Whereas the Flyers, as an organization as a whole, just has a different feel to it. Like imagine. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I think this podcast, for one, is great, and the fans love it.
that's what I like to hear, Meg.
Yes.
We're gonna cut that clip.
Yo, returning guest right here. Yo, she's friend of the show. Megan's coming back regularly.
Anytime you guys need me, hey, listen, I love it all, and I'm learning from y'all too. Like I said, I because again, I'm new and I'm learning. I've known the Bruins and I'm learning so much about the Canes. I want to make it a mission to know a lot about every team, because I want to be able to have a fluid NHL conversation with other players. But, I was taking notes on some of y'all's names on your team because I was like, okay, I need to remember that person got a goal and this person started a fight and blah, blah, blah. So I'd like that to become a little bit more fluid for me, but the process is really, really fun.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. No, we've been having a blast doing this. I mean, already this has already been a fun show. But to touch on what you guys were talking about as far as the organization goes, I think with the Flyers particularly, there's nothing wrong with trying to like bring in new fans, bring a mascot in, try to reshape some things. I think the problem was they tried to shove it down the throat of some of the hardcore fans that have been here forever. Like, listen, the guys that have been, putting their asses in the seats for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, we don't need a mascot. We don't need any cute, commercial or videos. You know what I mean? If you want to channel that to bring in younger fans, to make it more family experience, we got that. But kind of try to find a way to keep it separate, almost two separate channels. The gritty family-oriented stuff, and then like the traditional Flyers, like hardcore stuff where we want to see, wins, losses. We want to see, the players, the stats. So I think that's the biggest mistake that the Flyers made as far as recently trying to like reshuffle their organizational view and their philosophy going forward. So, but Megan, what do you think the Hurricanes have been doing as far as an organization goes to incorporate family-friendly stuff in pair it with, more traditional hardcore hockey stuff?
Well, I keep saying when I first got hired, but that's all I compare it to. I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing more fan interactions or more reporter analysis. And I actually do more of the analysis stuff. And then we have another in-arena host, Jatovi. He does a lot of the fan interactions. But I think, and I'm sure you guys have the same thing, a lot of our games at PNC Arena are themed, right? So in a couple weeks, we have kids night coming up. So we're already prepping a bunch of videos. And I think we even have a kid host that night and all these things just to bring the crowd in. But I'm sure you guys do the same thing. Yeah.
Well, at one point we had a stress room where you could go in and break it.
Wait, that's awesome. That is really awesome. A stress room? Oh, yeah, man.
I forget the name, Jim. Do you remember the name of it, what it was called? But you could go in there and just smash a bunch of stuff when you were stressed out.
That's right. The Rage Room. Right.
The Rage Room. That's the Rage Room.
Bring that back.
Yeah, they need that back in this season. The second half of the season, bring the Rage Room back.
See, I feel like that's very Boston and Philly. Like, I feel like both those arenas need a Rage Room. Absolutely. Do you guys have an in-game host, though, for the Flyers?
Yeah. I forget his name, but he does a really good job. I wish I remembered his name. But yeah, we have I think we have two. The one guy's permanent. The other one, her name is Andrea Helfrich. I haven't seen her as much lately.
Yeah.
He was very good also.
I wish I had a secret recipe as to what's working for us right now, but I just think I, I think it's the passion, and a lot goes to Rod Brindamore too, our coach. He is a diehard Raleigh fan through and through. Like he will support NC State. Like I think it's just the fact too that our arena is right across from the Wolfpack Stadium for NC State. So it's a lot of tailgating. It's a lot of pish posh of just a like a city feeling, a city pride, and I'm sure it helps too that we're doing really well. So I think it's just a perfect combination of all those things.
So when I'm trying to look it up now. Brendan Moore's been the coach of the Hurricanes for how long has it been?
Well, he also played for us. He won.
Yeah.
He was on the Stanley Cup team
With Cam Ward, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, years though. I'm not sure. That's something I should know.
I'm just curious to see how many coaches we've gone through since Rod Brindamore became the coach of the Hurricanes. Because Brindamore was the Flyers great before he went to Carolina, and then he ends up getting hired there. I don't know how many coaches we've gone through since Brendamore's been there with Carolina.
Wait, Rod Brindamore was almost hired to be the Flyers coach?
Oh, I don't know if he was in consideration or not.
I'm just saying,
he was the Flyers great, and then he went to Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah.
I see here it says he was an assistant coach since 2011. He became head coach in 2018. So the Flyers, I think, have gone through at least 3 coaches since Brindamore was hired. Probably more, if I really thought about that. Maybe even 4.
Well, I mean, we've had 2 just this season. So just
I mean, and then once Yo's gone, that's 5. So, oh my God.
Wait, talk to me about that. What is the deal with that? Why is that happening? Why y'all shuffling through coaches?
We wish we knew.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer for you, Megan. We're probably about to lose our long-term captain and Flyers icon, Claude Giroux, coming up on the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So this whole team's in absolute turmoil right now as far as turnover goes. I think one of the biggest problems for us personally is developing talent, like the guys we draft and actually developing and helping them reach their ceiling. I don't know. Besides Sean Couturier and Ivan Provorov, I guess Travis Konechny too, but I think he's underwhelming. There's not too many players that we can say are like our homegrown talent.
Do you think, though, that it's helped? I know for us with the Chicago Wolves, a lot of people, when we had the taxi squads because of COVID and everything, and a lot of those guys were coming up and taking over. I feel like that was great as a team anyways, to just kind of mix in other guys that our players weren't used to playing with and just kind of throwing things for a loop. Do you guys feel that the people on your AHL team are, contenders or help? You think the taxi squad helped your team in any way?
I don't know. I guess it helped. It helped in the sense where we got to see guys called up and they were able to get sent back down without getting claimed or anything. Right?
Yeah. Well, that was like, yeah. We had Jack LaFontaine for a little bit, but he's and in Chicago right now too. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching and all that fun stuff. And this will be like the first year where I'll be paying attention to the trades and all that. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
Giroux could end up on the Hurricanes.
Who do I think? Oh God,
Giroux could.
Oh, I was like, who do I think? I was like, oh God, I'm sweating again. I was like, that's out of my territory.
Well, there's a couple guys. Justin Braun also. I don't know if you watched him tonight. He's an older defenseman. He should be playing on third pair. He plays on Flyers top pair. That's how bad things are here. But yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I would love to see them win a cup with Carolina. I don't have anything against Carolina, so they're a team I can root for, Whereas like if it was Boston, I would say hell no.
I was thinking tonight, though, when we started the first couple periods, I was like, wow, for the Canes, it's been very physical games lately. And I thought, wow, this is a very peaceful game. And then the third period happens and we got, who was it? Ian Cole on his birthday. He went at it with, who was it?
Zach McEwen.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that was just a birthday punch right there. That got a little intense. But I do feel like the refs in the beginning of the year were not letting them fight it out as much as they are now, which I kind of like that. Do you guys remember Blades of Steel back in the day?
Yeah.
The video game.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part as a kid, playing that. And then when they go fight and then they actually like punch in the wrestling match. So it brings me back to those times when I see that happening on the ice and I'm like, ref, just let them do it. As long as no one gets severely hurt. But I'm like, just stop interfering.
Yeah, let them get it out.
Let them get it. Yes,
It's
the
normal,
rage room.
Natural. Yeah, get in the rage room.
The fighting's obviously died down in years, but Sean Pronger, who was Chris Pronger's older brother, he wrote a book. He had a great quote in there about how like journeymen and like grinders and role players, they find a way to make an impact when they need to, really to save their job more than anything else. He talks about it a couple times in training camp, how he gets in a fight in a preseason game or lays a big hit because that's what's going to make him stand out near the end and keep him on a roster. And that's what I feel like Zach McEwen's been doing that for half the season now. So he's probably going to parlay it into like a 3-year, $4 million contract.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, hey.
It's fun. I mean, the first period was a snooze fest. A couple, funny enough, I ran to the bathroom for literally 2 minutes in that second period, and that's when both goals were scored. So I came back and said, "Oh, guys, did I miss anything?"
It happened so fast. It was like the first 24 seconds, and then like 35 seconds after that, you all scored.
It was pretty funny. Everybody.
But yeah, the first period, Canes only had 2 shots on goal. That was our lowest, I guess. I heard them say in our first 20 minutes of gameplay. I was like, what is going on? Like, shoot the dang puck, guys. What are you doing?
You guys were killing me. I bet the over on Jones's 29.5 saves. 2 shots in the first period killed me.
But
I was like, oh, that one's out the window.
I have to give props, though, to Martin Jones. I think that was his first start against the Canes. He's a great goalie.
Yeah, I think he's been everything as advertised as far as a veteran back.
Yeah.
He's another guy that might get shipped out at the trade deadline, but you can't be mad at him. He's done exactly his job.
I'm going to cut that clip too and send it to all the NHL GMs for the trade deadline. Martin Jones, great goalie.
Megan's about to be the highlight reel for HW at night.
I speak in sound bites, guys. I speak in sound bites.
Oh, man.
No, but yeah, he was a great goalie. But I was just like, yeah, let's shoot. And then things started to warm up, and in the second period, those back to back. But I don't know what it is, because our last game we were just in Pittsburgh, and in the second period, Jordan Stahl got a goal first 9 seconds, and then same with our third period. It was Jesper Foss 9 seconds. I don't know what it is with these quick middle frame goals happening, but I don't mind it.
Good team. We're used to being scored on early and often, right, Dave?
Yeah, all the time. We get scored on all the time.
It's like normal.
I write up a gambler's guide for HW hockey, and literally every time I'm typing the total out, I have to go look at the numbers. And every time I look at it, I'm like, the Flyers are giving up 3 to 4 goals every game. Like, I can't not bet the over. Every time I'm looking at it, I'm like, I have to bank the Flyers for 3 to 4 goals allowed every game. How am I going to bet the under on that?
Who would you guys like to see come to the Flyers? Do you guys have any picks?
Oh, here we go. This is go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
I don't know anybody really. I mean, if I want to be realistic, I feel like there's a good chance Johnny Gaudreau is going to be a Flyer in the offseason. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. Who would I like? I would like Connor McDavid. I would not be mad about that. No, I don't know. To be honest with you, I really like how Carolina built their team. Like, they're a bunch of hardworking guys with skill mixed in. Rod Brindamore, I think, is the perfect coach for that town and that city. And I'm jealous of the Carolina Hurricanes, honestly. Like, I think they're a lot of fun to watch. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. And I would ideally like a team like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's doable for y'all for sure. I just think it's got to be the right sort of chemistry or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the Tony D'Angelo signing was a very underrated move by Carolina. I think bringing him in for the contract he did elevated that blue line and really enabled the forwards to play to their potential. Like, you got guys here that are reaching their ceiling that it was always there, but I think him, the way he's able to move the puck, the way he calms down an entire defense, an entire unit when he's out there, like, he's that kind of guy you can count on. You know, kind of like Kimmo Timonen was here for us for a while, but he's a guy that allows the forwards to play their game relaxed and confident. Like, I think, Teravainen, Aho, those guys that are up in the top six, like, it's very calming to know that you have a defenseman that can not only help you out offensively, but also settle the puck down and be sound defensively. So I think that was a huge move by Carolina in the offseason.
Well, that's something I felt really bad about tonight. I mean, man, so Tony D'Angelo's from Philadelphia, and he had about 150 people at the game tonight between family and friends and kids that he coaches in the off season. And then he's out in the second period. I was like, oh, so I hope, but that's another thing I was going to say. I mean, obviously we have injuries that happen throughout the season, but lately every single game, someone's out the rest of the game. Someone's not coming. They're out 2 games, and it's not just it's not COVID anymore. It's injuries. And now, we're getting to the second half of the season because these bodies are getting banged up, and it's nerve wracking every time they head out there, because it's like, you never know. You never know who's going to be playing the next game and who's going to be out. And these are key. These are everyone is a key player. Everyone is a crucial talent. Everyone brings something to the table. And that stresses me out a bit going into playoffs.
Yeah, you're not going to get much sympathy from us as far as injury goes. I'm sorry about that. You're not going to.
Are you guys just falling apart left and right? Is that what's happening?
Since day one.
Yeah, training camp. We've been down people since training camp, and
skeleton crew over here.
Oh no!
We've had multiple people come back for one game and immediately go back on IR. Multiple people, not just one guy. Multiple people come back, play one game, back on IR.
I forget what I said. I'm like, we're just starting to experience injuries. I feel bad for me.
Well, Kevin Hayes has had, I think, 3 surgeries already this season.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Crazy, man. And then the best guy we traded for in the offseason played 4 games, and that was it.
Yeah, Alice played 4 games. And then goddamn Carter Hart gets pink eye before the game, so we don't even have our starting goalie today because of that.
I was wondering, because I was like, well, they didn't play. Their last game was Thursday against the Capitals. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering about that situation and why, the Martin had to go in. But like I said, he was great. I wasn't expecting him to be such a talent, and he really was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been a player in the league for a long time, which is part of his trade value. He was the starter for the Sharks for 4 or 5 years, took them to a conference finals. I don't think they ever made the cut with him, but he's played a long time, has a lot of games under his belt. He's somebody that can hopefully net us something at the trade deadline. So, Megan, who do you think? So the Hurricanes are obviously going to be buyers at the trade deadline. Have you heard anything about who they might be targeting or who they might be bringing in as far as trying to gear up for a run?
I really haven't. See, the one thing that I would love to do as the in-game host is get a little bit more access. Again, because of COVID, we weren't allowed, like after morning skate, they normally do a press conference, and they just started letting people back into that. So I'd really personally like to get in and kind of get closer to the reporters and see what they're asking kind of up close and personal, because I'm still a little bit on the outskirts and really just a general fan. But it's going to be really interesting. And I, for one, feel like, I mean, our goalies are great. Antti Ranta has been, again, we're going to go to the injuries, but been pretty injured through most of the season. He's better now, but I don't know. I just feel like we need another solid backup goalie. Like, I get worried about Freddie. Like, if Freddie's out, we're screwed. You know what I mean?
He's had a history of kind of fading in the second halves too, up in Toronto. I don't know if he brought that to Carolina. I guess we'll see.
We'll see. I know. I mean, he did well tonight, but I could tell the fatigue was getting to him. Yeah. Well, I guess he didn't. No, Ranta played. I don't know. They just seemed a little tired. They seemed a little tired. Yeah.
Oh, the team as a whole for sure. Like you could see, like that was uncharacteristic to see them get outshot by the Flyers by 10. Like the Flyers don't outshoot anybody, let alone get 40 shots in a game.
We've
So
kind
we
of
knew
lucked out
something.
though. We haven't had a lot of back-to-backs. We've had a few, but yeah, we played Friday night because I was in arena, and then they were away on Sunday and then today. So it was just kind of, they had like one day of rest, but now they'll have until next Friday, so they'll be able to hopefully recover from any upper or lower body injuries, and we'll get back at it on Friday night.
Yeah, I actually the Hurricanes have actually been really good in 3 games in 4 night sets. I wrote it up here. Hold on. There's something like 24-8, 25-8 now after this one, and their last 32 situations where they played 3 games in 4 nights. Like,
oh dang, okay.
Yeah, so usually that 3 and 4 set usually it's tough on teams. That the fatigue sets in, you're tired, you're ready for that break. Because usually at the 3 and 4, you do have a few days off. But yeah, Carolina's been able to stay focused and been able to get those wins. So it's actually impressive as a team to be able to have a kind of record like that. And that bodes well for them in the playoffs as far as getting ready to make a run when you're playing almost every other night.
Yeah, well, it also helped too, just shooting up to Pittsburgh and then Philly. It wasn't really like they had to be super jet lagged or anything. But I also, call me an NHL rookie, did not know that these teams get their own plane going all these places. I was like, oh, I thought that was just the Patriots. I thought, Robert Kraft was the only one that got their team a plane. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So, I mean, yeah, I think that they didn't have to travel far. I think that worked in their favor for sure. But yeah, I was going to say something else after that. I forget what I was going to say, but maybe we'll spark in a second.
I will say this, charter planes actually are really cool. I've flown on one time. It was when I went from Fort Bliss, Texas to Afghanistan, and we had a layover in Bangkok, Maine. And but the plane was chartered for us, right? So you had like a whole row to yourself, and you would get like full meals served to you and stuff like that. And like if they had extras, they would just bring them to you. Like they were super nice. It's one of the coolest experiences I ever had. I mean, great. Like I said, we were going to Afghanistan, so like it's not like the destination was all that great, but
the way there was great.
But the flight there was awesome. Awesome 17 and a half hours.
I hate long flights. Okay, so before I moved to Raleigh, I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. Another random thing about me. But I would hate coming home for Christmas and just holidays because 6 hours, no thank you. I hate flying. So that's why I got really excited about the chartered plane. So, done and done. You want me to travel to the next away game? That's perfect. I got you. Yeah, I'm just like not about those long flights. I cannot, but that is a way to travel.
Yeah, you can make them enjoyable. I've actually I splurged one time and flew first class out to Vegas on like a trip with like my buddies from Philly to Vegas. So it was like 6 hours and 20 minutes straight through. And those Delta flight attendants were absolutely amazing. They was like, hey, you need another beer, man? I'm like, absolutely, right? And then I drank like 5 Blue Moons, and I finished the Blue Moon they had. So we're about to descend, and they're like, hey, they're like, last call, like, you good? I'm like, I'll take another one. Like, hey, we're out, man, but here's our last 2 Heinekens. You just go ahead and take care of them. So I'm like on the tarmac as we're pulling to the gate, trying to pound this last beer down.
I was just gonna say, did you like feel it more when you landed, or were you feeling it more in the air? You were probably fine when you landed.
Yeah, I thought it when I stood up. I sat down for 6.5 hours, drank like 9 beers, and then I stood up. I was like, all right, I'm gonna definitely need a cab to get me to my hotel and probably take a nap.
That's what's needed though when you're on that long of a plane ride.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I'm sure the players aren't probably. I mean, maybe they are. Who knows? Maybe they're on those charter flights, pounding them back.
Who knows? Maybe. I hear they bring a lot of Chipotle. They like their fast food as they get on the plane. That's the word on the street. I hear that.
I have read some things about guys getting like cut on the plane ride back or sent back down to the minors. That's going to be an awkward conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, that would be terrible.
And they usually, so some of the things I read is like the assistant coach, they'll send him back to wherever he's hanging out with, playing cards like that. And they have him call him over, have him sit down, like, hey, listen, man, like, when we get back, we're sending it back down to the AHL or whatever. Like that's gotta be the most awkward conversation.
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad. Oh man, yeah, but I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the second half of the season. I'm excited. I consider me, no, obviously not my Canes or my Bruins, but I'll put the Flyers in third here.
You don't want to do that. Don't do that to yourself.
We wouldn't want you to do that. No.
Yeah. We wouldn't want to ask you to do that.
No, but I love the passion. I really hope that, just given some time and given whatever needs to happen, maybe given next season that, things start to mold with you guys and the fans and whatever is lacking kind of brings it back up again for you.
For sure. I mean, hopefully it can only go, you would think it can only go up from here. I want to knock on wood when I say that, because, you say that and then all of a sudden some more bad news comes out. So, hopefully you can only go up.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you one thing. As the in-arena host, is there a certain part of the game or that you look forward to? All the things that you guys do on the side, it's all great. But is there anything in particular that you look forward to the most?
Man, I texted my parents the last game and I said, it is so great every time I come to this arena. I am so happy. And it's so refreshing going to a place that makes you feel like home and that you're excited to go to.
Okay.
And I think what I love most about being the in-game host is sincerely I'm learning every game. And sincerely I can feel myself getting better every game. Because at first I was a nervous wreck. There's no teleprompter. I have to remember these stats and these names. And I'm like, I came from Monster Jam. I know Gravedigger. Like, what are we? I don't know what we're talking about. But I watch every game that's away on TV. I'm listening to the commentators, Trip Tracy and Mike. They're so genuine. Every game they're like, let us know if you need any help. Even preparing for this podcast, I asked them if I could do this and they said, let us know if you need anything. Let us know if you need any help preparing. Like, just really genuine. And I think to answer your question, my favorite part is the whole thing. I love being in the control room for our meetings prior to the game. I love meeting the fans. I love being in it with them. But yeah, I really only go on for pre-show and our intermissions. And then in between, as the periods are happening, I'm taking notes. So I like pre-writing the script, but also creating the script and kind of freeballing it, if you will, while we're doing the intermission. So to me, the whole experience is really great. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
It's awesome. I think that's probably the best answer you could get, really, the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really cool.
What about you guys? What's your favorite part of doing this podcast?
Yeah,
I'd say for me personally, it's when I get a guest to respond back to one of the hundreds of emails I send out. Like, I spend a good portion of my day now just trying to figure out people to have on and sending emails. And
how desperate am I? I answered in like 0.2 seconds. I was like, yes. I was like, wait, let me get permission first.
Yeah, I know. You were like ready to go. I was already texting it out in the group chat. I'm like, I got Megan for the Hurricane. She said she's ready to go. And then like after I said that, you're like, hold on, I have to ask permission. Give me a second. I was like, hold on a second.
I was like, who am I to decide to speak for a whole franchise? Like, wait a second, Megan, let's ask first.
Yeah,
they were cool with it, though. They were cool with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I send out so many emails all the time, and then I joke around with my friends. I'll send like Snapchats to them. I'll write my article. I'll send out a bunch of emails. I'll get my stuff done for like me and my wife, a little side business we do. And then I send a Snapchat of like my open email. I go, all right, it's time for email slot machine. Let's see who gets back to me. And I just start hitting refresh.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, you guys it's great. You guys get views and listeners, and the more you do it, people will respond back to you. Like me, just as fast as me.
Oh yeah, it's been a blast. Well, I actually had so I contacted you on LinkedIn. I actually reached out to Todd Fedoric on LinkedIn too, and I saw that he looked at my profile and I'm like, oh cool. I'm like maybe he'll get back to me today.
And did he responded? Yes.
He didn't message yet. He didn't message yet, but I got a notification that he viewed my profile. So I'm like, all right, like, come on.
You're getting close. You're getting close. Yeah.
It's like you're fishing. That's the whole Todd. You know you want it. It's funny.
That is funny.
Jim, what's your favorite thing about it, man? You've been doing this longer than I have.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat as Megan there. I like everything about it. Really, I think mostly though I like the people, like what we're doing right now. Like I like meeting new people, talking to new people, and talking to Megan. Like this is one of the things I love about it. Like the only way that we would have ever talked or known each other existed is because of what we're doing right now. So like, I think that's pretty. When you think about it like that, it's pretty crazy that a couple of years ago just randomly started a podcast and it grew into this whole thing, and now I'm talking to Megan, the in arena host from the Carolina Hurricanes. Like I think that's pretty awesome when you think of it that way. I mean, we've met like all kinds of people, and the podcasts are fun, and obviously I love my guys and whatnot, but just thinking about the endless possibilities, I think is what I love. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Beautiful answer.
Thank you.
I love that.
From the heart.
I know. I could feel it. I felt it. No, it's an honor. Thank you guys for having me on. It really was a blast talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so glad we had you on. We appreciate it. This is I think you're the first person we've had on that's been from like the opponent's team. I don't think we've had anybody else from HW at Night on that was like from the other side.
I was wondering that because I was looking at some other episodes. I was like, am I the first opponent? Okay. And it's great. It's so great. Literally, anytime you guys need me to be on, I'd love to be on. Even if you don't play the Canes, just if you just want me on.
Well, we definitely have at least 8 opportunities a year starting next year.
There you go. There you go. We're good. We're good. I love it.
I think we should hold you to that.
Hey, I'm here. I got you guys.
We appreciate it. And if you want to start one too, bring us on. We'll absolutely come hang out with you.
Oh yeah, I actually do have a little podcast. I do, not related to Canes. It's called the Boston Blondes. So my friend and I talk all Boston sports, which is kind of fun. So yeah.
So we've mentioned Boston a few times throughout the show. So I had back in the 2010 playoffs when the Flyers did the reverse sweep on the Bruins and then went on to the Stanley Cup Finals. I was there for Game 3. And David Krejci got hurt. Right. It was me and my cousin, and like 2 sections over and maybe 6 or 7 rows up, there was these 4 fully grown men, had to have been like 35s, 40s, right? Being absolute arrogant assholes. Now, listen, I have some rules about opposing fans. If it's a family there, like a dad brings his kids there to hang out, I'm not going to mess with them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bother, right? And if it's a couple and they're just out there having a date night, again, I'm not going to bother them. But if you're 4 grown men and you're running your mouths, it's fair game, baby. Like you're on, right? So after Boston goes up, I think they went up 2-0 or 3-0. These guys were going loud. They were turning around, flipping people off behind them. I had a thing of crab fries, a couple things of cheese I threw in there. I ran across 2 sections, right? I'm like, excuse me. And all the Flyers fans let me go. I wound up, threw it, nailed the one guy in the back of the jersey. The guy turns around, yells at me, flips me off. They start threatening me to fight. The security guard throws them out.
That sounds very Boston. Okay, I'm not, you were saying this story the whole time, and I was like, yep. I just kept saying, yep. Yeah, that sounds right. Yep, yep, I get that. It's funny you say that, though. The other night we played the Nashville Predators, and I was like, oh, what is with all this yellow here at PNC Arena? Like, come on, people. There was a lot of yellow. But, yeah, and so we had one fan that was getting he was sitting up by me in his yellow, and he was getting a little rowdy, and he was getting a little mad that they were losing, and I was like, hey, buddy, you're in our house. That's how I felt about that.
We're seeing more and more of that around here. I mean, there's not a lot of Flyers fans at the games, and we're seeing more and more away fans pop up.
No. Okay, we have got to turn this around.
I know. You're right.
We've got to turn this around.
Some way. Maybe
some
next
way.
year.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're hitting the 45-minute mark. So, Megan, the floor is yours. If you have anything you want to promote, anything personally you want to do, any story you want to tell, it's all you for now. What do you want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. No, you guys are so great. My handle is right there in my lower third. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I try to give fans as much behind the scenes access when I'm at the games. Things can get a little crazy and busy. So I try, and I am a newbie to Twitter, by the way. Like I had Twitter, But before I got into this whole sports world, I used to do like entertainment in LA and stuff like that. So I actually did an after show for the show Pretty Little Liars. I don't even know if you guys have ever heard of that show.
I know the show, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I did an after show. It was almost like The Talking Dead after The Walking Dead. So that's where most of my followers came from. And now I've totally taken this jump to sports. So if you're on my Twitter and you see like Teeny Bopper, Pretty Little Liars, who's a kind of situation, that's where that came from. But Twitter's fun and it's a necessity for sports, man. I have my favorites that I go to and I'm seeing what they're saying. And oh my gosh, I wouldn't survive on my scripts without Twitter. But no, really, I've only been in North Carolina for a year, but it's welcomed me with open arms, and I'm really just excited to see where this path takes me. And yeah, that's all.
That's awesome, Megan. Thank you. Jim, anything you want to add, man?
That's it. Megan, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Of course. I can't wait to share this. So this is like, I can put this all up afterwards. Is it?
Everywhere you
all
want
the
to put
places, it. All the places. I will. I will.
Places.
Perfect.
Tomorrow morning is a podcast also. So if you know.
Oh, great.
Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll be out.
Great. Love that. All right, Jim, Dave, you both are gems. Wishing you all the best the rest of the season. And yeah, till we meet again.
Thank you so much. For Jim Micavone, for Megan, I'm the real Delco Dave. High and wide fam. Thanks for hanging out with us. Everybody have a good night.